For sure. Go ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, whatever else he says at that time.
Let me try. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs. Welcome to another episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. Is that about right or no? That's about right. Shout out to our brother, our big brother, Zeke. In his absence today, man, we hope everything is good. Hope you feel better. We look forward to getting you back here in a couple weeks so we can be a part of the true 94 Feet family. So today is just my brother and I, Keith and I holding it down. What's up, bro?
We all good today.
We all good. Everybody's good. Let's just dive right into the sports, y'all. It has been a crazy NBA season. Wouldn't you agree, bro?
Totally. This has been one of the most intriguing into a season we've had in a while. If you look at it, like usually everything is decided by now.
Yeah.
You know who is who and who is going to be where. But right now it's going down to the last hour of the last game.
Literally, it is like through the wire. I mean, when you think about how the season's been, it has been a very injury-prone season, an injury-ridden season, a lot of movement in terms of new teams, and a lot of superstars have been injured. What is the one thing from this season that has stood out the most to you? Like, what has happened in the NBA that made you say, oh, for real? Like, dang, for real? The biggest story of the year for you for the NBA, what is it?
The biggest thing for me probably this year would be all the superstars being injured so often. Like, how do they get injured and then they be out significant time? It ain't like they're they're out a week or two here. They out 6, 8 weeks, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And in fact, with all of those injuries, it has tipped the season. Meaning the Lakers, we know, were a top 3 seed until LeBron got injured.
Exactly.
And it has changed the landscape of the NBA for certain. I guess for me, the biggest story coming out of the season would have to be the James Harden saga. And the way he left the Houston Rockets and kind of bullied himself into the Brooklyn Nets. I think that is one we talked about on our show for several weeks. And I think we were all shocked at how that played out. And so for me, it's the James Harden story. For Keith, it's the injury players. I mean, did you want to add anything on that James Harden story?
James Harden, man. I mean, that job turkey bully his whole way up out of there. I agree. That's another big one for me too. Like,
yeah,
he put a damper on part of the season with his shenanigans.
He did, and he also made it harder for small market teams to compete. But another story for another day. Let's dive into today's topics. So let's talk about the injuries. You started the episode off talking about how the biggest story coming out of this season for you were the injuries to the players. Now is not the time to get injured. Okay. Every single player on this injury list could be impactful to their team, depending on if they make the play-in tournament, certainly if they're in the playoffs or not. So let's just run down. We got Jaylen Brown, who is out for the season with a torn ligament in his left wrist. Does that hurt Boston?
Man, that is detrimental to Boston. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it gives them a chance to pick their superstar now, and let them say that Tatum is a superstar now, and he has to take over. You know what I mean? Because it's a battle between him and Jaylen right now. Like, who's your closer? Who's your go-to?
It should be Jason Tatum, whether he's 100% healthy or not. I'm talking about Jaylen Brown.
You would think that, but if you watch the games, you can't tell.
You can't tell.
You don't know if it's Kimbo some nights.
That's
you
true.
don't know if it's Marcus Smart some nights.
That's true.
Jaylen Brown being out is going to either help them or bust them.
Okay. So for me, I think the Boston Celtics, when it's all said and done, when we look back on this, we will say the Boston Celtics was a disappointing team with a disappointing season. They had a lot of high hopes when the season began. They have a young core talent. They did some free agent signings. They lost a couple players, but a lot of people didn't expect the Boston Celtics to be playing in the play-in tournament. A lot of folks expected them to be a top, 5 or 6 seed. This injury, I don't believe all injuries matter, but I don't think we have to worry about it because Boston wasn't going to get that far anyway. So if the Celtics can get into this play-in tournament, fine. Maybe they'll play for the tournament, but I don't think that folks can depend on the Boston Celtics to have a deep playoff run.
I think they'll beat Charlotte. But like you said, outside of that, that's about as far as it's going to go. And Boston is, I don't know, they've just been disappointing to me this year. And I don't think they found a rhythm all season.
Yeah, and again, part of that is because they've also been injured, as we mentioned. Tatum had went out. Some other players have been out, whether it was COVID protocol, whether it was just regular injuries or personal time. Boston certainly paid for it. So Jaylen Brown, again, I'm not saying that injuries are good for the sport because it's not. But if there was ever a time for him to get injured, it's now because Boston, we don't anticipate them doing much of anything anyway, if they can even get out of the play-in tournament.
But like you said, it also is going to be a test to see how much Tatum really has in the tank going into this playoffs and what he can actually do by himself so that they know what type of star they got now.
Right.
I think this is a test of his starism.
Stardom. Starism. So
is that even a word?
Well, it is now. So stardom is the word. But no, Jason Tatum, I believe, is an all-star. He's a superstar in the making. I don't know that Boston really realizes what they have yet. And sometimes we see that backcourts don't always work or certain teams don't always work. So this could be a chance for them to say, you know what? The Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum experience is not a good one. So we're going to move on and shop Jaylen Brown. But that has yet to be seen.
But who do you get for Jaylen Brown?
I mean, Jaylen Brown was putting up numbers. Let's not act like he's a bum.
No, but I'm just saying, like, and didn't he get hurt last season too?
I don't recall, but I mean, he tends to play around in the injury world too. But let's not hold these guys accountable just yet until we talk about this next one. Victor Oladipo. Vico underwent season-ending surgery on his right quads. I'm going to say this.
Quadriceps.
His quad. Same thing. Quad.
Okay.
Don't try to correct me. I'm not Zeke.
Okay. My bad.
Shout out to our big brother. We miss you, fam. But no, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk about Vic. I think, and I hate to say this, I think it is time for Vic to call it a career. The man has been injured season after season after season. I was excited. I was hopeful for Vic. It was actually my favorite trade when he got traded to Miami. That was my favorite trade because I thought, okay, 100% Vic, he can go to Miami and help Jimmy Butler.
But who did they give up for Victor?
Let's look it up. I don't remember who they gave up, but let's just talk about how do we believe. Well, first off, I don't think that Victor's injury will affect the Miami Heat at all because Victor, he didn't play enough games for them to even see how impactful he can be. The games that he played in, they were very role player-ish, very role player-ish. He'll put up a few numbers, grab a few boards, maybe. But then he sat out most of his time in Miami, which was just under 40 games. And so I believe that Victor has to call it a career, unfortunately, because this will be his second. They're already talking about that. I don't know if you saw the report, but they're talking about that he will likely sit out all of next season. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
They're talking about he may be out all of next season. And if those reports are true, if that is the case, then Victor needs to call it a career and just hopefully he saved his money and he invested wise. But I don't think basketball is a thing in his future.
I think he might be on his road out. even though it's sad to say that, and I think he's very talented, but I think the injury bug has pushed him on the other side now. And I mean, Houston got rid of him just in time, though.
They did. It says here the Rockets got Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk,
and they got a 2022
first round swap. They can swap 22 first round.
So, I mean, Houston got. At first, I was thinking Miami was winning in the deal, but now I'm like,
right,
Houston might have got away with one.
I mean,
just think if Houston would have still had him and John Wall, and they both done for the season.
John Wall can call it a career too. He can call it a career too. He's not on this list because he doesn't matter. But I'm just saying he was shut down too.
The shade is real for John Wall.
I'm just saying, bro, John Wall. When is the last time he played a full season?
I can't even remember.
It has been years. And there was a social media. You know how on social media you can ask questions like, "Will John Wall still be here next year or not?" You know, on like Instagram, you can ask poll questions.
Really?
Yeah. And I guess there was a poll question that went out and it said, "Will John Wall be in Houston?" And John Wall answered the poll question and said no. He said no.
He really said that?
He said that according to the social media folks that are out here. I don't know if it was Photoshop or whatever, but it's been making its rounds on social. The bottom line is the Houston Rockets are rebuilding. We know that. Did they win that Victor O trade? Definitely.
Yes, most definitely.
But I mean, Vic.
Because I mean, Miami could really use Avery Bradley right now and Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they started out kind of rough and they're going to need some extra bodies going into the playoffs.
They sure will. And, you know, let's talk about Bradley Beal. He was out with a hamstring injury. Should be back in time for the play-in tournament. Don't know if he played today.
As many buckets as that brother put up this year, he needed a break. That boy been putting up some buckets.
It's like he's been the only one balling. He's been the only one playing.
No, don't say that.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
I just wanted to see if you would take the bait. We know Russie will be Russie. We know that. Yes. So Bradley Beal actually, you know, was out with a ham injury. I don't know if he played today. I need to pull up the stats if you're listening to this episode on Sunday, the 16th of May. But if Bradley Beal is not healthy for the play-in tournament, how do you like the chances of the Washington Wizards?
I don't. As good as Russie is, he is not enough. Because who would they have first round? They got the Pacers.
Is it the Pacers or is it the Celtics? Let's pull it up. I believe because the Eastern Conference is finalized. They have been finalized. So it's the Boston Celtics against the Washington Wizards. And that's a pretty, it's the Boston Celtics against the Washington Wizards.
It was Boston and Charlotte and Indiana and Washington.
No, sir. It was finalized early this afternoon. It is the Boston Celtics and the Washington Wizards. It's all good. And it's the Pacers against the Hornets. So do we like the Wizards' chances without a healthy Bradley Beal?
So Wizards in Boston.
Mm-hmm. Without potentially Bradley Beal.
Man, I mean, so it's basically Kimbo against Westbrook. Who you taking?
You know what? Westbrook was built for moments like this. So I'm going to go with the Wizards. However, if there is no Bradley Beal, who it sounds like he actually did play today. So Beal did play today. He put up 25 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists in 35 minutes. So Beal, I guess we can actually take off this injured list because he did, in fact, play today.
An easy
25. So if they win, I like the Wizards' chance.
I'm going with the Wizards. With Beal back, I'm going with the Wizards, most definitely.
Yeah.
I just can't see Boston having enough to beat Russie and Beal.
Yeah, no.
And the way they've been playing lately, I don't see it.
Yeah, no.
It's disappointing for Boston, but we'll see you next year.
Mm-hmm. Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm, I wish the Bucks would have kept him. He is out with a right hammy injury. What does that mean for the Pacers, man? In this play-in tournament, and they're playing Charlotte. And Malcolm has not really played a lot.
I was just going to say he hasn't really played a lot this year, so he doesn't really matter as far as to what they're going to do. But
doesn't matter.
I'm saying at the moment, like
had he been playing, the Pacers probably wouldn't be in.
They probably wouldn't even be in the play-in tournament.
If they were playing,
they would have a spot
6, potentially. So Malcolm is injured, and it has been an injury-prone, an injury-ridden season for him as well. Do we like the Pacers' chances without Malcolm playing?
No. I just don't see it. I mean, Sabonis is not enough because anybody outside of Sabonis, you don't even know who they are on that roster.
I mean, yeah.
I know the Holiday brothers are on there too, but hey.
I mean, today, though.
And he did have a good game against the Bucks. I think he had 30.
Well, they won today, 125-113.
Against who?
Against the Raptors, who are out of playoff contention.
Okay.
Who will probably lose Kyle Lowry. This is probably his last game with the Toronto Raptors. But, I mean, you had some players that stepped up for the Pacers today. I can't read these names, but I'm not going to try. But Doug McDermott put up 20. Saboned, right?
I don't even know how McDermott got that 20. I know him too.
TJ McCullough put up 12 and, had 17 assists. That's pretty impressive. LeVert had 13 and 6. So, I mean,
is that TJ McConnell with 17 assists?
Yeah. That's what it says.
That sounds about right. That's why
impressive.
That's why they won.
That's impressive.
He's solid distributor. He's just not a very efficient scorer because of his size.
Yeah. So without Brogdon, we don't see a whole lot happening for the Pacers.
No,
we don't see a whole lot happening for the Pacers.
Pacers are, if they win, they won't win a game in a series.
They're one and done.
Yep,
they're one and done. Who do you like? Do you like the Pacers or the Hornets in the play-in?
With LaMelo Ball back, I would say Charlotte.
Yeah, I would agree. Without Malcolm,
just LaMelo alone, it would be nice to see him get that playoff experience early. Mm-hmm. So it'd give him something to really make him work even harder. Just getting that taste, that little bit of taste can make you play a little harder. You know what I mean? Like, what it felt like to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not been on a losing team for some years, because I don't see Charlotte getting much better
ever.
Really, but I can see him getting better, and maybe they get better.
Yeah, for sure. So I would agree with you. I like Charlotte, especially with Malcolm out for the Pacers. I think Charlotte can easily, I'm not going to say easily, but I think they can get that spot in the play-in tournament as well. So, again, it has been an injury-ridden year. Harden came back from injury. And so it sounds like the Brooklyn Nets will be fully healthy going into the playoffs. Okay. It sounds like they're going to be fully healthy.
But that's my thing, though. Like, I think it'd be a little bit of setup-ish. A little setup-ish.
Come on, bro. Don't be one of them.
Even Bron. I'm thinking it's a little bit of setup-ish. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that's a real word, setup-ish. How do you say it? Setup-ish? Whatever it is.
So the fix is in?
The fix is in. I'm telling you. The fix is real.
Chill out, man. They played yesterday. The Nets played the Bulls, and they beat them. And
by how much?
It was 105-91. So it was an impressive win. Wasn't a blowout, but James Harden only had 5 points.
Chicago probably got 10 in the last 2 minutes because everybody was out the game.
Listen, the Chicago Bulls, they're 30-41. No one cares. So and Durant only had 12.
How many minutes he play?
He played 30. Harden played 25. Kyrie played 30. So they didn't even really play, I guess, 30 minutes.
So who was the leading scorer last night?
The leading scorer last night was Kyrie Irving with 22 points and 0 assists. I guess he's tapping into his inner James Harden and KD by not passing the ball. Or his Kobe, right? Tapping into his Kobe, just shooting and not passing.
Far from a Kobe, but
Kobe didn't like to pass. God rest his soul. We love Kobe, but he didn't like to pass either. Assists were his.
But you can depend on Kobe.
You can't depend on Kyrie?
Not yet.
What?
Not yet.
Bron,
I don't think he has that Mamba dependency.
I didn't say he did, but
I'm just saying.
If it wasn't for that big shot
But outside that one big shot, has he hit any other shots?
I mean, LeBron would only had 3 championships if it wasn't for Kyrie and that big shot. So let's not try to downplay.
Well, Kyrie wouldn't have any championship if it wasn't for LeBron.
Well, I don't disagree with that. But all I'm saying is, let's not act like Kyrie is just a scrub.
Not just act like LeBron is LeBron.
Spit it out, brother. You having trouble over there. Spit it out. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is every time you say Kyrie doesn't have a killer instinct, you're taking away from the contributions that he had to help deliver LeBron that championship to Cleveland.
I'm not taking away from what he's done for that organization at that time, but tell me what he's done after that.
Well, I mean, he went to Boston and destroyed that franchise.
Because, I mean, LeBron carried them all the way up to that point. He had to do something at some point, right?
Well, I mean,
ain't no different than Jordan carrying them all the way up there, and then he passed the ball to Kerr to hit a 3. What else did you know Kerr else for doing in that series? And besides hitting that big 3,
that was his job, to make baskets. So Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets are fully staffed or they're ready. They're ready to go.
Are they really ready?
We'll see in a week or two, won't we? We'll see in a week or two.
I cannot wait to see who they get first round.
They'll either get whoever ranked 7th, so it could potentially be they'll get
the winner of the Boston and
well, it depends on how the play-in goes. So it depends, because you can either end up with Boston potentially, you can end up with, because they're the number 2 seed.
Because the winner of the 7-8 seed automatically gets 7th. Automatically.
Okay.
And then the winner of the 9-10 has to play the loser of the 7-8.
Yes.
So
they could potentially either play I want to say it's Boston they could potentially play, or
so they either got
Boston or the Wizards.
And I don't think they want that smoke from the Wizards.
Oh man, please. They'll take that with open
arms.
I
would love to see them play.
Chance for KD to finally shut Russie up. Are you kidding me? KD would be
finally a chance for Russie to get his revenge on KD.
Bruh.
Remember, I said that. Do you remember me saying that?
I do.
How would that be if KD had to battle Russie first round of the playoffs? Do you think Russie's gonna take it light on him?
It'll suck for Russie.
It's gonna suck for KD and them.
Doubt it.
You don't think so?
Doubt it.
You don't think so?
No. If James Harden is,
because Bill can put up 40.
If James Harden can put up 50, KD can put up 60, Kyrie can put up 40.
But see, my thing is Russie and Bill can do what KD and Harden do, because they about, you know what I'm saying, their stats are probably similar compatibility.
Tip for tat?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, Kyrie has to be above and beyond to beat Washington.
I don't think any of them have to be above and beyond. KD just needs to KD. Harden needs to Harden, and Kyrie needs to Kyrie.
Because you got to remember, Washington got nothing to lose.
Besides Brooklyn, maybe a coach, but go ahead.
Besides that, Brooklyn has more to lose, and Washington's just going to be out there balling.
Listen,
it's just going to be another day at the gym, because they wasn't expected to be in the playoffs. They wasn't expected to win nothing.
I disagree. I think a lot of people had a lot of high hopes for Washington, and I think it's disappointing that they didn't.
Nobody had high hopes for Washington.
A lot of people had high hopes for Washington.
Tell me, at one point of the season, did you have high hopes for Washington?
I didn't say me.
Because as soon as Russie went over there, everybody had everything under the sun to say about Russie not being that good to make that team any better.
So I'll say this. If you're Washington, you want to win, but you don't want to see Brooklyn in the first round. You don't want to see Brooklyn. No one wants to see Brooklyn in the first round.
There's going to be drama for anybody that got to play Brooklyn. But the
thing is, healthy Brooklyn.
But the thing is, how are they going to? Who's going to slow Russie down? Who's going to slow Beal down?
So I think
because Washington goes off of Beal and Russie, and if Beal is going, they really are tough to beat because Beal is tough.
Bill is tough, but Kyrie can probably lock him up. You don't think so? Kyrie can probably lock Bill down.
Now here we go back to this smoking dope conversation again.
I've never done it in a day
of my life. You talking about
Kyrie can probably lock Bill down.
Did you see what Bill was doing to the Bucks? Everybody they put on him, he was bucket.
Kyrie's
Bucket.
ball IQ is a little
Bucket.
different than a lot of players on the Bucks. I mean, Holiday obviously is in my opinion, a long shot for defensive player of the year.
I don't think Kyrie is a better defensive player than Holiday.
I don't think he is either. I didn't say that he was, but what I'm saying
is Bill was
giving
giving Holiday a fit.
And that's okay. Bill can build. Bill will score. But let's not act like he's just going to have his way with Kyrie.
He will.
You're crazy.
He will.
You're crazy.
He will.
He won't.
He will.
You what? Bruh, stop.
He will make Kyrie look horrible on defense.
Well, I really hope the Wizards win so we both can watch that he won't make Kyrie look horrible. Now, I'm not saying that Kyrie's going to own Bill.
I'm saying if you depending on Kyrie to slow Bill down.
I didn't say slow down. I said he can lock him down. Kyrie locked down Steph.
That's to slow him down.
Kyrie locked down Steph.
You think so?
What? Yes.
When?
During the championship.
Man, it was just a bad game for Steph. I'm telling you,
so
right?
Now you're defending Steph.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna defend greatness. That's what I'm gonna defend.
And I'm glad you acknowledge that Steph is great.
Hands down, he's great. I don't like him that much, but he's great.
So here's
shout out to Steph. Even though I don't like you, bro, you still good.
Listen, man, Kyrie Irving. I'm not saying that he's a defensive player of the year, but if you think that Bill is going to be able to contain him and play basketball around him, I'd like to know what you had before you came here, because it's not happening. Will he make Kyrie earn those points in those spots?
No, you said Kyrie was going to lock Bill up.
I said he can lock Bill up. He absolutely can. I didn't say that he was just.
What made you come to that conclusion?
Well, Kyrie's a baller. I mean, even though we don't get to see it, when Kyrie's IQ is on, he can get steals. Can he not? Can he not? He can't get steals.
What is he gonna do when Bill coming off them screens and shooting them shots right over him? Because that's what Bill does.
I know what Bill does. I'm a Bradley Bill fan. I wish he would have left.
Then you should have recognized what it is and then not said what you said. Because I'm telling you, you're gonna sleep on them comments you just said, and you're gonna wake up like, man.
I'm gonna tell you like this: when if the Wizards can even get out of the play-in tournament, and if they have to play the Brooklyn Nets,
it's gonna be a good series.
Kyrie's gonna be a monster, and I'm not saying that he's gonna hold Bill to like a few points. What I am saying is, don't underestimate Kyrie's ability to lock up players. He's done it to Steph, right? Has he not? He's done it to Dame. Okay, if you go back and look at the tapes in lockdown, let's not say that makes them have a bad game. That just means it makes them work a little harder for the money that they're trying to spend. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I have not seen that out of Kyrie Irving. I don't know what games you watch.
Hey, man, I've watched the year.
I think you're just a Kyrie Irving fan.
All right,
and
all right, man.
You know.
So let me ask you this: is Kyrie not a top point guard to you? Is he not a top point guard to you? You wouldn't pick him as a top 3 right now?
Top 5.
Who you got above Kyrie?
As point guards?
Yes.
I like Dame better.
I like
Steph better.
Okay. Does Kyrie have the best handles in the NBA? As a guard, as a point guard?
Between him and...
Is Kyrie not fast?
Between him and CP, they might have the best. He probably do got the. I think Chris Paul got the best handles in the league.
Is Kyrie not fast?
Yeah, he's fast.
Okay.
But is Kyrie the same Kyrie that when Cleveland won a championship?
Listen, man.
No,
okay.
Is he?
Okay.
Is he?
He might be a little better.
A little better? Did you see what he did in Boston? He ruined that squad.
He did. Okay, let's just say it like this and we'll move on. We're excited about a Brooklyn-Washington series if it happens. And I am looking forward to a Bradley Beal Kyrie matchup if they do it that way. Because according to the spots, Kyrie should be holding Russie, but I think they'll put Harden on Russie.
What do you think would happen to Kyrie if he holding Russie?
Not a thing. Russie would play ball all over him.
So why you don't think Bill would?
Because Bill's not Russie. Bradley Beal's dope, but he's no Westbrook.
But who's a better offensive player, Beal or Westbrook?
I think they're about tip for tap. I just think Beal is having his year.
Beal has been having his year for about 3 years straight.
Yeah, but this is their first year playing with each other. With the game on the line, do you want the ball in Russie's hand or Beal's hand?
Beal.
Do you really?
Bill?
Okay, let's move on because in the words of our brother Z, we're getting off topic.
All right.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the season awards, fam. The season awards. Now, we did this earlier in the season where we talked about mid-season awards. It's the end of the season. It's the last day of regular gameplay for the NBA. I swear it feels like we've been here forever. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the season awards and who we got. Let's just start off at the bottom. Rookie of the Year. Who gets it from you, bro? Who is your Rookie of the Year candidate?
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Oh, man. I'm going with Tyrese from Sacramento.
Really?
Because nobody else has been healthy long enough to earn it. He is the only rookie that has been almost healthy the whole season and be consistent.
Anthony Edwards.
I mean, I like Anthony Edwards, but I don't think he's been a game changer like that.
He plays for Minnesota. What do you expect?
I mean, what do you expect from him?
So,
what do you expect from somebody? What was he drafted? Number 2?
Edwards, I believe, was 2 or 3. Don't quote me. I have to fact check that. But so you're picking Evans from SAC. I am going with Anthony Edwards as my Rookie of the Year. He has not missed.
It's Tyrese Halliburton.
Halliburton. My bad. You said Evans.
I did not say Evans.
You did say Evans.
I said Tyrese.
You said Evans.
No, I said Tyrese.
Go back and listen.
You said Tyrese.
Okay,
you said Evans.
I'm
I never even
sorry.
said Evans.
I stand corrected. Halliburton has been balling, yes, but not better than Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards put up 18.9 points a game, 14.8 rebounds a game, 2.9 assists per game, and he has not missed any games this season. Plus, if you watch the young man do interviews, he's freaking hilarious. I mean, he's hilarious. He's already owning sort of his image of being the funny guy, being the nonchalant guy.
So because he's funny, he wins the
No, because he's actually had a better season. I mean, let's look at the stats. Pull them up. Pull up the Rookie of the Year standing, okay? And look at the ranking. And right now, a lot of America are still banking on LaMelo Ball winning it, which he shouldn't. He's missed too many games, nor is his stats better than Edwards. Okay, nor is his stats better. And so I'm going with Anthony Edwards from the Minnesota Timberwolves as Rookie of the Year. If LaMelo Ball played a full season, he would be the winner because he's been the most impactful to his team. Okay, he's the only one of the top 3 that have a chance at even getting into the playoffs.
Who?
The LaMelo Ball, because his team is in the play-in tournament.
But the only thing about LaMelo is, has he played enough?
That's why I said if he played a full season, he would be my pick for Rookie of the Year.
Really?
But because LaMelo Ball, yes, because he made the difference.
I totally agree.
You know, and so for me, it is Anthony Edwards, simply because Anthony Edwards really has had a better overall season. I mean, Halliburton has balled out. Yes, he has been a great player for Sacramento. But you and Zeke say this all the time, that what have you done for your team? And the only team out of the top 3 that are even close to the playoffs are the Charlotte Hornets if they can win in that play-in tournament. And the stats are not better. In fact, Tyrese Halliburton has dropped. He was ranked top 3, and now he's actually ranked number 4 in the standings.
But that's because he hasn't played of recently either, though.
So then, how can you call him?
But up to that, just think, up to that point, he was there.
He was top 3, but he has not been for a while. So you're still going with Halliburton as your Rookie of the Year. I'm going with Edwards.
I know he's not going to win, but that's who I would pick. We all know who's going to win. Come on, man.
You think Ball going to win it?
Most definitely. Who else can win it?
That's a lot of controversy. If he wins it over Anthony Edwards, that would be a big, big mistake, and the league will have a lot of questions to answer.
Why?
Because he's been injured. He didn't play for something close to 20 games.
But what has Anthony Edwards done to impact the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Well, first of all,
besides give some funny jokes at the press conferences.
Well, first of all, he's put up 18-4-2, right? He stayed consistent.
18-4-2 on a team that don't have nobody.
He stayed consistent in the top 2 spots, right? And he's with Minnesota. Mind you, Minnesota has played a lot without Cat. They didn't have
So it's not hard to put up 18 points when you getting the offense ran through you as a rookie.
I'm not saying that it is. All I'm saying is I don't think you can overlook his contributions to Minnesota as a bad team.
What contribution? What was their record this year?
That has nothing to do with anything.
Go to their record.
That has nothing to do with anything, bro.
Go to Minnesota Timberwolves record.
That has nothing to do with anything. It is an individualized award. I keep telling you that.
But you get the award off of
your stats.
Of what you do for your team.
It is not called Rookie of the Team. It is called Rookie of the Year. Okay? So the Minnesota Timberwolves, since you want to look at stuff like that, they're 22-49.
22-14.
Sacramento, you picked the Kings. They're 31-40. They're not much better.
31-40.
They're in 12.
That's 10 more games more.
But they're in 12.
And he hasn't played
none
of. He hasn't made none of May. He hasn't played none of May.
And that alone should be a reason.
And they still got more wins.
Listen, man.
Listen.
LaMelo Ball should not win it. I'm going with Edwards. You're going with Halliburton. Moving on. Most improved.
No, you move on. Talking about Anthony Edwards.
I bet you he winning.
I bet if you put
bet you he winning over Halliburton.
You put any other rookie over there in Minnesota, they'd be averaging 24 points a game.
America, who do you pick? Besides LaMelo Ball, would you pick Anthony Edwards or Halliburton from the Kings as your rookie of the year? Tell us in the comment section of the 94 Feet Podcast. Tag us on Twitter, hashtag 94 Feet Podcast. Let us know what you think, because obviously we don't agree. We don't agree on
Please,
much.
somebody co-sign with me.
This is the same guy that said LeBron was a better player than Mike, just so y'all know.
No, we said better all-around player. There you go again. There you go again, shooting it out how you want to shoot it out when you already know what I said.
How is that different, fam? How is that different?
It is different.
It's not. Saying LeBron.
Okay, moving on, people. So now we're going to move on.
You don't get to do that. We're not done with that topic. You don't get to say let's move on, and we're still talking about LeBron
what?
And Mike.
Okay, so defensive player of the year, y'all.
No. We're still on most improved player.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
I was gonna move all the way on.
Okay. I would have given it to Christian Wood because he was a no-namer when he was with the Bucks. Let me finish. He was a no-namer mostly with the Rockets. And when Harden left, we saw the emergence of a young, great, hungry player. Not going to say superstar, but we did see the emergence of a young, hungry player. Insert the injury bug, like most of the NBA. So I'm going to give it to a man that has led his team to the NBA playoffs for the first time in a long time. They have clinched the 4th spot. I'm going to give it to that young man, Julius Randle, as the most improved player. He has balled out all season long, and you can tell by the Knicks record that is mostly him.
You might be on to something.
Hey.
Finally. No, but for real though, Julius, shout out, bro. You have put on a great season this year, man. You have really stepped it up when everybody expected you to fall. And most players would have failed, especially going to the Mecca of basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a big stage, and you stood on it. I can say that for sure.
That's a lot of pressure, man. That's a lot of pressure playing for the Knicks. And remember, even though the Knicks suck or have sucked, the Knicks really is a franchise that a lot of superstars consider signing with because it's a big market.
They consider it, but why they don't go there?
Who else do you have? You know what I'm saying? Who else do you have there?
Because you had a chance to get KD.
I don't think they really
had a chance to get Kyrie.
I don't really think they ever really had a chance.
Why not?
I think that was all sports talk. I don't think that anybody ever in their right mind thought KD was going to go to New York.
But
because
why?
he joined a team that he joined a super team. So why would he join a super team to go to a rebuilding?
But
team?
why wouldn't they put their team together in New York rather than Brooklyn?
Listen, man, Julius Randle has averaged a double-double this season. 24.2 points, 10.3 rebounds per game. And again, Christian Wood, not too far behind, a near close to double-double. He has made New York relevant again, Randle. So I don't think you can really give it to anyone else.
I don't know if they're relevant, but they are doing pretty good.
Number 4 in the player in the clinch, number 4, that makes you relevant, whether we like it or not.
They're relevant. I mean, I don't know. Because I mean, at the end of the day, do you see them going past the first round?
I mean, I don't, but
okay then. So
I don't, but still, a lot of people. Hold up, man. You are really hard on people today. Jeez,
but because also you keep leaving out Michael Porter Jr. He has had an awesome season.
Yeah,
too.
but not better than Wood nor Julius Randle.
You don't think so?
I know so. I know so.
Oh, you know so.
I know so.
Oh, you one of them brothers.
So the New York Knicks will play the Atlanta Hawks, and they might beat the Hawks in the first round. They might beat them. Let's not act like they don't have a shot. Let's not act like they don't have a shot.
They got who first round?
The Atlanta Hawks. As it stands right now, here are the standings for the playoffs. The Eastern Conference, the Philadelphia 76ers await the winner of the 9 and 10 spot of the play-in tournament, who would eventually become number 8. The New York Knicks with the 4th seed will play the Atlanta Hawks, which is the 5th seed. Our Milwaukee Bucks, shout out to Giannis, the number 3 seed, will play the Miami Heat, which I'm not happy about.
So what was Randall's numbers this year?
Randall's numbers were, let me pull it back up. They were near double-double. I've sent switch screens. They were near double-double. I think it was 24 and 10. But back to the playoffs. And then you have number 2, the Brooklyn Nets will play the 7th seed of the play-in tournament, which is Boston or the Washington Wizards.
But what do you think about Michael Porter's stats this year?
Call them out.
19.
Okay.
54% shooting.
Yeah.
7.5 rebounds.
Yeah.
And 2 assists.
Yeah. So they're not terrible, but that's not a double-double.
But you gotta think about where he came from. He came from 9-point average last year.
Yeah.
To averaging almost 20.
Yeah, and people question if Randle was going to have a good NBA season last year.
Not to mention he got 2 other studs over there with him, and he still had a standout season.
Not to mention Randle has pretty much done it by himself most of this season.
No, don't leave Derrick Rose out. He has contributed.
I left him out.
He contributed to some of the wins over there.
I'm not saying that he didn't, but I'm just saying the Knicks were playing fine before Rose came. Let's not act like they weren't. Rose obviously helped, but I don't need you downplaying Randall's award.
I didn't downplay his award.
That's exactly what you're doing.
No, I didn't. I just said taking into consideration that Michael Porter Jr. had a good season as well.
I didn't say he didn't. His season wasn't even as good as Wood's season. It was a good season, but it's not top 2 for most improved player.
Why not?
Because the Knicks were an afterthought. Bro, people were telling Dolan to sell the team.
And
listen, man.
What does that have to do with that individual? Because it's an individual award, right? It's not an organizational award, right?
It's an individual award that happens to make his team better.
So you don't think Michael Porter made Denver better off of his play this year?
No.
So
I don't.
So how do you think they're still in what is their seed in 3 or 4?
I think they're still they're number 3, and it's because of their MVP, which we'll get to in a minute.
But you think he did it? But you think he did it by himself?
No, basketball is a team sport. But what I'm saying is,
and Murray has been out quite some time.
For you to say that Porter should win this over Randle is disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful.
It is, because the Knicks were an afterthought. No one talked about the Knicks before this year. Nobody. And it's because of Randle's gameplay as the most improved player.
The Knicks are always in talk, no matter what.
Yeah, but not on the good end. They're on the wrong side.
Don't you remember they were just talking about them and Patrick Ewing?
We did talk about Patrick being a little sensitive and offended, but I'm going with Randle. You're going with,
because you sound a little sensitive over there right now. Me talking about Randle and Michael Porter.
I'm just sounding really irritated at your stupidity and your comments about.
Oh, now I'm stupid, huh? Now I'm stupid, huh?
I didn't call you stupid.
You know what?
I didn't call you
I'll be
stupid.
waiting for you in the parking lot now. Between you and your boy over there that ain't here today with us, shout out to you, Zeke.
I didn't call you stupid. I just said the analogy was stupidity because you're making it seem like Randall's contributions were nothing.
I did not say
That's
that.
exactly what you're saying.
Those were not the words that came out of my mouth.
Bruh, you are comparing Porter to Randall, whose team is in the
So Randall averaged 5 more points a game and 2 more rebounds without an MVP candidate on this team.
and a superstar point guard who did play most of the season. Let's not act like
And Murray had an okay season all year. He ain't did nothing all year. Go look at his stats.
I'm aware. So you're going with
He looked like the rookie Murray, to be honest with you, this year. I was kind of shocked. I'm feeling a little disappointed that he played that rough at the beginning and then came on and got injured.
yeah. So you're going with Porter.
I want Porter to win, but I know Julius is going to win.
So your pick is Porter, my pick is Randall.
Yes.
Defensive Player of the Year. Who you got?
Even though he's not in the top 2 right now in all of the polls, I like Giannis as Defensive Player of the Year.
You like Giannis?
I like Giannis as Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm. So,
but I know everybody is looking at your homeboy over there in Philly like he is locked down.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is getting a lot of looks from individuals for Rookie of the Year. For me,
Rookie of the Year, or you mean Defensive Player of the Year?
Defensive Player of the Year. Thank you.
This might be his rookie season, though. You know?
For me, the Defensive Player of the Year, I'm actually going with Rudy Gobert.
Why?
I just think if you look at his stats and you look at the block shots that he puts up,
Because he got $100 million.
well, no,
I'm feeling like Shaq now. He got $100 million.
listen,
and you
he's
trying to
also the reason that COVID started to spread. So we know we're not going to give him.
He did not start it to spread.
In the NBA, he did.
He did
in
not.
the NBA, he did. When he
Believe-
rubbed
believe-
Mitchell's hair, it was a wrap.
Believe me.
That's all she wrote.
Believe me, he was not the first or the only player to have it at that time.
He wasn't, but
he was just the first person to get tested.
It.
He was the first person to get tested for it and the first person to get on the news about it. So
Bruh, he rubbed his whole team. He rubbed his head, bro. Yeah, Mitchell. Remember, that's how Mitchell caught it from Rudy. But anyway, man,
I don't think he caught it that way.
That's exactly
I think that was
how
just
he caught it.
Man, listen, you don't know that. You wasn't there.
So
If that's the case, then Mitchell would have put his hands on him.
So
Remember if that was you and Rudy rubbed his hands through your hair like that with COVID, what would you have done?
Remember though, that was a time when people didn't know they had COVID. That was the time when people didn't. Anyway,
But they did find out they had it though, right?
They did. He found out he got it.
So did
Rudy doing that?
Did Donovan and him have a fight?
So listen to this. Remember,
No, did they have a fight?
Would you listen? Hey, Zeke, hurry up and get back because he's used to doing this crap to you. What Donovan Mitchell? Remember, they were saying that there was some challenges.
There was some tension in there
between the two. So when you talk about numbers for Defensive Player of the Year, and the reason I'm going with Rudy, and I actually would go with Joel had he not been injured. I hate that Joel was injured because he could have pulled a Giannis. He could have pulled an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, right? In my opinion. But Rudy put up 14 points per game, 13.3 rebounds, and almost 3 block shots per game, right? Whereas Ben Simmons put up 14, 6, and not many block shots. But Simmons, to me, in order to win an award like this, in my opinion, you need to be able to play most of the season. And Ben Simmons has missed a lot of basketball.
How many games did he miss this year?
I've
seen him play a lot of basketball compared to previous years. Compared to previous years, he's played way more, I think, this year than normal.
Well, I don't know about that.
Because he has had that injury bug, too.
He has. Ben Simmons so far this season has missed. Let's get it. Well, while we can't find that stat at the moment, all I know is that there have been plenty of games where Simmons has been out. Simmons has been out. Simmons has been out. That has not been the case for Rudy, right? Over in Utah. And Utah is, I mean, I know people don't like to see it and see it for what it's worth.
So he has played 58 games this year,
And
which means he's missed
over 20. Over 20.
No, because it's 72. It was 72 games this year.
72. So he's missed more than 15.
So he's missed 14 games.
That's a lot. That's significant when you're talking about championships.
I mean,
sorry, we're talking about awards. That's like giving you a almost perfect attendance award.
So who you giving it to?
I'm gonna give it to Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Rudy.
I'm giving it to Giannis.
You giving it to
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giving it to Giannis, the Greek freak.
Giannis. Shout out. Milltown's finest.
Coach of the year. Coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
Let me think about that one.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead.
Because I got a couple of them in mind, but I'm trying to narrow it down to.
I'm going to give it to Tom Thibodeau.
Over in New York?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Nah.
I'm going to give it to New York because he has the Knicks in number 4. Okay. They are playing some great basketball.
I'm giving it to Steve Kerr.
Of the Golden State Warriors? Is that clickbait?
No, let me stop playing, guys. Let me stop.
I was gonna say, is that clickbait? I
kind of want to give it to Steve Nash though, because that environment, that's not an easy environment to coach.
No,
you don't know that?
No, bruh. All he got to do is say, "Here's the ball, go play." He has 3 major superstars.
Because it wasn't that easy for them.
Steve Nash should never win Coach of the Year.
You don't think so?
Never. He has KD. Harden.
Anybody that got to deal with Kyrie. Anybody got
10 players.
Anybody got to deal with Kyrie for a whole season should win Coach of the Year. That's where I got that from.
He has 3 top 10 players.
No, but I think I would either give
Hold up. The Knicks were 21-45 last year. They were number 12.
And what do they rank this year?
They're number 4.
I know they ranked number 4. What was their record?
The record this season of the Knicks. Let me pull up the standings. Man, you got a lot of questions today, man. The record this year for the Knicks are 41-31.
So they won 20 more games.
21 more games, and they rank number 4. A lot of that is coaching. Tom Thibodeau gets a lot of slack because a lot of people blame him for superstars' injuries. In fact, a lot of people are blaming him for Derrick Rose's injuries because they say he's too hard on players. However, I think Tom Thibodeau, even though his team's not in the 1 or the 2.
And Rose is back over there with him again?
Rose, because he's a good coach. And the team that won.
Clearly, he's not the problem with the injuries like they assumed he was.
I'm going with Tom Thibodeau as my Coach of the Year. Who you got?
I am going with Doc.
Doc Rivers.
I think Doc has really stood up to the challenge over there in Philly, and I think he has put them in a new level. And I hope that it carry over to the playoff, and it don't do like the Clippers did last year and go up 3-1 and then still lose the series.
Yep. But we also can't forget Monty Williams. Monty Williams from the Suns will probably win it. You know, he'll probably win it.
But like I told y'all before, I expected them to be a lot better than they were just off the street. Chris Paul is like a coach and a point guard is what they call him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know if it was really him or was it Chris Paul?
Well, I mean, we could also, let's not forget Quinn Snyder from the Utah Jazz. They're number 1. Nobody had them being number 1. They're number 1.
They got a lot of great role players that play their role.
Yeah, but you can't downplay.
But
you can't downplay.
I'm not downplaying it.
Whenever you say stuff like that, you're downplaying the significance of the player.
No, I'm telling you, they got a lot of players that fit that system.
Basketball
That's what it was.
Is a systems game. It is a systems game. So go ahead, give us your final Coach of the Year. Who is it?
I am going with Doc
Rivers. From the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm going
I'm going change my mind.
Who you got, brother?
I'm gonna give Monty his credit, man. I'm not gonna do him like that. Monty has earned it this year.
Monty Williams from the Phoenix Suns from Keys, Tom Thibodeau from the New York Knicks for Dre. And then finally, and we won't spend a lot of time on this one, but the MVP. Who is the NBA's most valuable players?
The MVP this year is most valuable player is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So you're saying Giannis deserves a 3-peat?
I think so.
Wow. On what account?
Considering the Bucks are number 3 in the East.
Okay.
Looking at, they've had a lot of COVID protocols with some players too, and they're still number 3. I think is to say that Giannis has done his part as usual to be in that talk. And I like Joker, but I don't know if he's the MVP over Giannis. I mean, over everybody else, yes. But Giannis, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be close. It'll be close. I think where Giannis has missed too many games to get it, because he's missed a lot of games too. But listen to the stats going into this week. Giannis is at 28.4 points per game, 11 rebounds per game. So Giannis is averaging a double-double. Now, Joker, listen to Joker, 26.5 and 10 rebounds. So he's slightly less than Giannis. But because he's played more games, he'll likely get that award. Now,
who lead this? Who got more assists though? Because you know they both is walking double-doubles when it comes to points and rebounds. They both are good rebounders, and they both, can
Joker
score.
has 8 assists per game. Giannis has 5. So
you think that might be the factor?
That'll be the factor because he's near a triple-double. Joker's near a triple-double. So for me, Joker doesn't have a point guard, so he plays a lot of minutes at the point guard position compared to Giannis this year. He finally got a true point guard.
He finally got a point guard where he didn't have to play as many point guard minutes as he normally do.
For sure. So I would have picked Joel Embiid if he played a whole season. That would have been my MVP. But because he's been injured, you got to give it to Joker. He'll be the first center in years to get it. A near triple-double. His team is remaining consistent in the playoffs. I don't see them having a deep run in the playoffs, but they are playing consistent in the playoffs. They are playing consistent. So, it's been a really interesting season, as we mentioned. It has been an injury-prone season. We are ready, for the playoffs. We are ready to see.
I am ready for the games tonight. Yes. I am going on. I'm about to have 3 TVs on in the basement tonight. 3 TVs on in the man cave tonight.
Yeah.
Just so I can watch all 3 games.
And then the play-in tournament starts this week as well. The play-in tournament starts this week. It's a great way to spend the birthday week is to watch some NBA. You know what I'm saying? But real quick, before we let you go, let's just talk. We're not going to talk about it, but this is what the playoffs, this is how it stands right now. The Western Conference, the number 1 seed is the Utah Jazz. They will play the 8th seed, which will be the winner of the 9th and the 10th spot of the play-in tournament, which is, it looks like the 9th spot is the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay, so Memphis will play the San Antonio Spurs.
Who do you got to go?
So we're just going through the standings. We're not picking who we're going to win. So Utah's number 1 right now, and they will play the 8th seed of whoever wins the play-in tournament. So the number 9 and number 10, Memphis and the Spurs play each other. So that's who would play Utah, the winner of those series. Okay.
But if you Phoenix, you looking, and either you're gonna have to guard Clay. I mean,
hold on, let me get through.
No, hold on,
let me get in.
Just look at that though.
Let me just get through.
You get two legendary players that's coming at your head next.
You get either Steph or LeBron.
You get Steph or LeBron.
You got a fluky season on your head. One and done.
It's up in the air. Even though Golden State is not that good.
Okay,
they might put you out.
I'm telling you, man. Don't nobody want to see Steph right now. The LA Clippers will play the Dallas Mavericks, the 4 and the 5. Okay. The Denver Nuggets will play at the 3, will play the Portland Trail Blazers at the 6. But remember, the 6 can change tonight. Okay, that 6 seed, the Lakers can sneak in. If Portland loses tonight and the Lakers win tonight, the Lakers can lock up that 6 seed. Okay,
but at the 6th seed,
they would play Denver.
Okay,
all right, which I'll take Denver over Phoenix, me personally. And then you have the number 2 spot, the Phoenix Suns, potentially playing the LA Lakers or the Golden State Warriors, or the Portland Trailblazers.
But whoever plays the Lakers, you shaking in your boots because LeBron has never lost a first round playoff game. I'm serious.
I think this year is different, but I'm happy to see that Drummond's back, Schroeder's back, Anthony Davis is back, and LeBron is back. So
the fixation is over. So everybody has their team back now, right before the playoffs. That tells you the fix is over.
And then the Eastern Conference, real quick, at the 1, Philly, number 8 is to be determined between Indiana and Charlotte. Number 4 is the Knicks. Number 5 is Atlanta. They'll see each other in the first round. Number 3 is the Bucks. Number 6 is Miami. They'll see each other in the first round. Number 2 is the Brooklyn Nets. Number 7 will be either Boston or the Washington Wizards in the first round. I am excited to have the NBA playoffs in the summer. I'm excited about the road to the championship. Next week's episode, I assume, we'll talk about the play-in tournament results. We'll talk about the matchups, and we'll talk about some other happenings in the NBA. Shout out to our boy Zeke. We miss you in the chair. The chair is still empty.
Not really, but I guess we'll set you back when you come back.
Holding it down for you. But 94 Feet Nation, thank you for joining us. Listen to us on Spreakers, Google, iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify. Like, subscribe, comment. Follow us on social media at the 94 Feet. That's 94FT Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Agree with us? Probably not. This has been the 94 Feet Podcast.
All right, good people.